Recently, I've been having a lot of conversations with colleagues about COVID reopenings and what it's like in church now and what folks are struggling with. And there's some pretty common currents, whether they were a church of 20 or 30 or 40 before the pandemic, or a church of 150 before the pandemic, or a church of 300 before the pandemic. We have a lot in common. Some of those common strains are that folks aren't coming into the building for worship on Sunday mornings like they used to. Many folks are seeing just half of what their normal numbers were. Many folks are seeing that folks are volunteering less or at a longer stretch kind of interval. And they're hearing, folks want certain things coming back. And one of the common threads is folks are asking for Sunday school, particularly Sunday school for children. And the irony is, or the colleagues will share, they're asking for Sunday school. Folks really want us to have Sunday school, but they don't want to volunteer. And sometimes we don't even have children that are an active part of our ministry. And just hearing that conversation again and again and again, I kind of wonder, what is that? And what I think it is an idol. That Sunday school in those instances has become an idol. Now, before you freak out and before you think that I'm against Sunday school, or before you think that I'm canceling Sunday school here at Wenatchee First, we are not doing those things. I'm not against Sunday school, but hear me out. Sunday school in the past has been offered pretty regularly for children's ministries. And a lot of churches will look back, or church folks will look back at when Sunday school was full, when we had 40 people in Sunday school, when we had 200 people in Sunday school, when we couldn't fit them in all the classrooms. That's sort of what we hearken back to, is this nostalgic period when Sunday school was full. Now that was great, right? That's a thing to be celebrated and cherished. And so people then say, well, but what we have to do now is make sure that Sunday school is full. Make sure that we have lots of Sunday school classes so that we can have lots of Sunday school children. But become so focused on having Sunday school that they're sort of missing the broader point. They don't have the volunteers that they used to. Not everybody's ready to teach in that way. And families, they're still coming out of COVID differently than a lot of other generations. Not every church is ready for Sunday school. So when folks become so hung up saying, that's the thing we need, we have to have that thing like we used to because then we're healthy like we used to be, I think it's become an idol. We've come to elevate the actual ministry more than we elevate sort of the core value. And the core value around Sunday school, I would say, is discipleship and Christian formation. What do we do in Sunday school but learn the scriptures, or learn the prayers, or learn the creeds, or learn the music, or learn the people of the Bible, right? That's what we do in Sunday school, and that learning is part of our Christian formation. So what if instead of Sunday school on Sunday mornings at this particular time with this many classrooms and this many students and this many teachers, if we could instead take out the value and look at that and say, okay, if our value is Christian formation for young children, how do we do that well? And do we have those people here to do that well? Some of the struggle in churches in general is idolatry. We hold something firm, tangible, earthly above the principle or the value that's defining it. I could probably say a lot more along those lines. I'll pause just a minute and share maybe a little bit about what we've been working with here, specifically at Wenatchee First. What we have is a growing ministry. We have some kiddos who've been part of the church for a long time, a bunch of kiddos who are coming to the church within the last year. We have amped up our nursery ministries because we have younger children coming. We've been doing pretty much a one-room schoolhouse or one-room Sunday school for the course of the pandemic since I've been here. And what we see now is our age gap is getting really big. We've got preschool and kindergarten and first grade, and then we got a chunk of middle schoolers and not as many in between. And so we've talked about, how do we do this faithfully? Do we need to offer nursery and a preschool class and a K1 class and a 2-3 class and a 4-5 class and a 6-7-8 class, or even more than that? We go, wait, we don't even have the volunteers. So instead of trying to hold up an idol, we've said, who do we have? In terms of children and in terms of volunteers. And how do we do that well? And if we do that well, then hopefully it will grow and it will flourish and it will bear fruit. And then our problem, so to speak, that there'll be more kids. So we're looking at having nursery and a preschool class with a kindergarten maybe, and then a young elementary group or a full elementary group, and then our middle schoolers. And we're inviting our middle schoolers to stay in worship in the sanctuary because we think they're coming of an age where they can participate in our youth group and they're really a bit older. So we'll have 3 options: nursery, pre-KK, and 1st through 5th. That's what we can do right now. Hopefully, honoring the value of Christian formation for those kids. Hopefully not upholding the idol that we just do Sunday school to do Sunday school, but that what we do with intention, we do it well, and that when it bears fruit, we might extend and take the next step. Friends, ministry in this season is not easy. It is not black and white. It really never has been, but less so now. I would invite you to be patient with us, prayerful with us, curious about what we're doing, and maybe mindful. Because I would imagine that each of us has our own idol. That thing that we really, really love because it's been so important to us for so long and we really want it. But maybe we're holding it above the value of our relationship with God and others. And maybe we need to take a step back and reevaluate. May we be faithful, may we be discerning, and may we be good stewards with the time and people and energy and resources that are before us. Take care, friends.